Hey, what's going on? It's Chris Moniak. It is Saturday, 6/20/2020. I am at Metairie, Louisiana store, and wanted to do kind of a recap walk for everyone involved in the project, looking at the facade, of course. Did want to note, from my perspective, we really have a good supporting cast here in the plaza. There's been customers coming inside of the doors all day long. It's the evening. This parking lot was jammed, and I think a lot of the people coming out of especially the grocery store see our store sitting here, and we're getting a ton of traffic over, which is good. Also, you see over here we got a deli and Walgreens. You will note, I guess I could walk over a little so you could see, there is a jazzercise place next door. This morning when I did show up, they were jamming out some music in there. You could definitely hear it through our wall, some pretty deep bass. I didn't hear it the rest of the day. I suppose it's probably not going to be an issue once we have our music on, but did want to call that out. Another thing I wanted to notice, it's kind of probably hard to see in the video, you could see our pylon sign there. The only issue I see with this whole place, because I think it's great, if you're coming down this main road, it is really hard to tell that we're even back here. There's a light right behind that restaurant right there. When you're sitting at it, you cannot see our store, and then you could see our pylon sign is about maybe, well, it's below that tree line that's right up in there. So you're really not getting any marketing, and it's hard for potential customers driving down the road to know that we're back here. But anywho, we'll go ahead and take a walk in. This is more of a recap for, I guess, purchasing, store planning. I'm going to be doing another video, probably recording the GC punch list walk tomorrow, so I'm not going to call out too many construction things unless it's really high level, as those things are going to be noted in the final punch list walk. And in that video, you will see that there's a 72-hour pressure test going on, so that's why this is dug up. You could see how close we are to the water table here, so that's a little interesting. But high level, I know a few people are probably going to call this out, the project specialists, when they get on site. These mullions on these front windows are in really bad shape. I think it's already been a discussion point, and I know it's probably due to cost. I don't know if there's something alternative we can do. I'm going to let this customer walk by. But anyhow, I don't know if we can use like an acrylic paint and paint this gray, or do something less expensive than replacing the mullions. You could see a lot of it's tore up. Obviously paint's not going to fix that, but all of these holes that are all over the mullions, we could probably patch those, caulk them, and then paint this whole thing. So just wanted to call that out. Also, the installer did a great job of making the Corex look good, so that's a great thing. However, I think we have a real opportunity here when we place wire weld in front of a window. To the best of my knowledge, wire weld actually makes an upright system that lets you slide Martech down through the back of the uprights, and really we could turn this into a marketing opportunity and have something cool in the window instead of just some plastic sheeting. It doesn't look bad by any means, but I think it's an opportunity to do something a little better with it. Anyways, this is Freddie. He's been here ever since I've arrived on site. He likes to hang out at our storefront, so he's kind of been my mascot since I've arrived. Doors all work. I turned them off. I'm in here by myself right now on the weekend. You can see the vestibule is clean. All the finishes are great. There's a couple little things here and there for the GC, but like I said, I'm not going to go through those all. And then we got the callback pallet for the fixture installer, which you could see is very small, which is a good sign of what we're about to see when we walk in. So walk in looking at seasonal, and we have nothing missing here except for the seasonal IFMs. It was kind of neat what store planning did. I've never seen this before, but just due to the layout of the store and trying to get as much as we could in here, the seasonal IFMs are normally floating out like a couple feet out in front of the 48-inch runs. And you could see this end cap here was taken off, and then that end cap was taken off there. And then the seasonal IFM will butt right up against those runs, which was a really smart idea, so good job on that one. But otherwise, this area is complete and looks great. Mind you, this was the best experience I've had walking into a store. Everything is clean. Everything is at 99%. There's a few punch list items for everyone, but I was super excited to see how much of what was done for the fixture installer, the general contractor, and then IT did a great job as well. But anyways, you could see the registers in the queuing area, all the accessories, the POS system, everything's all in, looks nice and clean down here. The test rate order is not here, so the light boxes aren't up. This store is not getting a monitor. And then I'll just give you a look back here. But everything inside of the millwork is very professionally done. All the wires are organized, good wire management. You will see, I wanted to show this, I think the store planning. But normally there would be a conduit stub out right there out of the vestibule wall. 99% of the time the glass does not go down. So I don't know the backstory or root cause, but there was no stub out in. So the GC very neatly brought a conduit down and then 90'd it over into the register. So this is an acceptable install when we don't have a stub in. We've done this before. The GC is going to be painting that the same color as the wall, and then when he gets down to the cove base, he's going to paint the pipe black, so it will look nice. Up at the top, they probably could have brought the conduit out a little further to the location where the low voltage was going to be going, but I'm probably, me and the other people in store dev probably are the only people that would notice that. I don't think our customer will see it. Here's the BOPUS room. Everything's installed. There's a couple closed base fronts, but other than that, you can see there's a couple GC items. I will note, if IT ends up seeing this, we have data reels, a whole box of them, and data reels that I've never seen before. But I'm imagining there are some dollars sitting there, so I don't know if we can get a program where we get very expensive items like this where it's worth shipping them back to Bates with the excess fixtures. Otherwise those will ultimately get taken by someone or end up in the garbage, so I don't know what we can do with those. So I am going to head on into Floral. You can see we got the A-frames here, and then the charcoal gray gondola with the beige wood non-merch end caps through there. You can see we also have the inspiration tower. That's an out of line that will eventually go out into the drive aisle. But the layout was all good in here. Everything matches up. We have the wreath wall installed, which always doesn't happen the first time through, so that was good to see that installed. Did have an issue here. This is on the workroom. I'm not sure why these couple shelves underneath of the wreath wall are called out to be 16-inch. wire grid overstock shelves. I think that would look kind of silly if we just have a couple sticking out and the rest of them are all 13s. But anywho, that's posted. Also, I don't know why Logier has a couple holes in the incorrect position, so these we're going to need replaced anyways. So hopefully we can just replace those with 13s, and store planning will update, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason those have to be 16. When we get to another wall, I'll show you. It will make more sense, but you could see right there how there's a little space, and that looks nice on the charcoal gray spline signs. This call out goes to Gabby and Julie, but when we get down to where some of the white ones are, you'll see what I'm talking about, so just remember that, how nice those looked. You could see that the price checkers are all installed, which is good. Along with coming around here, you could see over there in the distance, we have like pretty much a complete bailiwick install right off the rip, which is awesome. We do have the same issue, and I know purchasing's working on it with the hanging end cap splines. We had I think a vendor modification that went wrong. These are hanging down into the planogram, so we need to, I think, replace those. We have Cricut demo. Table's not pushed in, or the chair. The X is on there because the electrical's not installed, so the electrician put that there. I need to update the detail, and the reason this actually isn't done, I'll call myself out. We have the outlet down here. Oh, it's on the other side, but the outlet's down there for the IFM to install into. We also need an outlet right under the table on the end cap for use of whatever they're demoing here. Something I want to talk to store planning about. This really does not need to be a electrician install. We could put an ELC 29 right up against the bottom of the table on the end cap, and then it can plug directly into the outlet that they're already putting there, and then it will save us a little money on general contractor installation. Next thing I wanted to talk about, there was a little miscommunication between the installer and the GC. I don't know the root cause. These two end caps here were supposed to be miscellaneous end cap outlets. They're supposed to be 1 inch off the base deck. The GC has them set at 60 for an outlet. We're really hoping that these could just stay, but I'm not sure if someone can confirm whether they will interfere with the planogram. Otherwise, we're going to need new pegboard, and this will be a callback by the GC. Come down here and see the feature wall. Once again, not to sound like a broken record, the test rate is all one order, so the light boxes aren't up, but the wall is done. The same installer that did this did Kennesaw, and this guy does an awesome job installing the feature walls. They look nice and clean. One of the past issues is that this front panel will move around because my installers weren't doing it per the right directions, and now they are, so those are good to go. So look back down there at Floral. So I'll skip over here to the center of store, the Boston group. Gabby and Julie did an insane, awesome job designing this thing. Don't know that we'll ever use it again, but it is really cool and it turned out perfect. There was absolutely no problems. So you could see that everything's installed in there. This is the Grace long arm. You could see the outlets down there for that. Our cabinets came in correct with all the locks on them. Outlet placement is perfect and centered. Excel was on money and has their knockout store planning, and well, I should say in this case it was Gabby, synced up and got the outlet to match up in this cabinet where the PCs will charge. take a look at the Glowforge cabinet and monitor. Everything perfect there. And then unfortunately on this side, the wall looks great, but we're missing the pattern wall cabinets from, from Excel. But this whole system came complete with its own power pole. GC and installer said everything went perfect, so this was a complete success. Whether we do it or not, at least we know if we ever need it, it works. So anyways, I will just take a quick walk down the back side of the store, and of course we need to stop at everyone's favorite place, the diamond wall. This is probably the smallest little baby of a diamond wall that we've ever had. What do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Once again, I called this out in my last video. We could do a little redesign with the feature wall itself, so it fits a little more snug up against the actual diamond wall panels. If you look at the bottom there, we got some pegboard showing, and the diamonds don't go all the way down to the deck. We could improve that if we wanted to. And then also, if you look up at the top, there's exposed wall above it, so really it's just making those top boxes a little bigger, so they drop down a little lower, and then we can get this all snugged up so it fits real tight. Otherwise, if we don't want to redesign everything, it's probably as simple as adding pegboard to the top extensions, so there's at least something solid up there so you're not seeing the wall. In fact, if we're going to go that route, you might as well put Martech up there so it just looks like smooth gray charcoal going across. But wanted to show that. Nothing new here, but jewelry lights are all working, up and installed. I will point out there's an issue I posted, and I think we'll resolve this really fast. But you could see we had decided a while ago that if we do gray on one side and then raw on the other, that it always looks better if we do gray shelves on this side because it matches the gray uprights. And then you'll see when we go over to inline sewing, we kind of reverted back and have the white on the back. That doesn't look good, but we'll get over there in a moment. So not much to see except for a whole bunch of gondola on the back of the store. Have very limited, here's one place where we have some logier components, but missing logier components were huge. It was huge how not many components were missing. There's like hardly nothing missing in the whole store, which is great. You can see all the fixture electric is all up. The GC's got to paint the conduits. So I'll turn around and take a look at the cutting counter area. You could see the scoreboard is up and live, which is awesome, which allowed the installer to actually put the cut bar cart corral in, which hasn't happened in a while. On the initial install, they usually have to go in and call back to allow a scissor lift to get through there so they can continue to work on the scoreboard. Got the sign-in station. You can see all the LED lights are up and working. Got the mobile cutting counter. We'll point this out. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me, but I've called this out a whole bunch of times. I know that store planning said that this computer is supposed to not be on the end and it's supposed to be over here. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but it keeps getting installed on the end here. I think it's like an issue with ADA, so I don't know if that needs to be corrected, but obviously not my strong suit. See the tablets and the pull-out drawers. I'll get some measurements on this. I know we need them for the Logier cutting counter and anchorage to see if they'll fit in our old drawers, so I'll take some dims, a video or something on those in a little bit. This call out goes to Abigail. This has been an issue all the way from last year. My installer should know better by now, but all of these cabinets are made a certain way where they all connect together with the provided hardware from Excel. You could see how they attach together up here. Just because the cut bar register is slightly different, Excel still puts these screws in here that if you put them in, they go ahead and they end up protruding and putting this hole here. We do have a solution for it, so I just noticed that now actually as we were walking. So now we're gonna have to order that little 3-inch by 48-inch piece to cover that up. But we really need to make sure Excel gets rid of that screw, so the contractor stopped doing that. The pattern cabinets here, no issues here. Not sure why, it might have been an inventory thing or the order. When I was in Kennesaw, they updated to the new pop-up outlet that matches our IFMC. But we did not get that version here, but you could see Jamie did order the pop-up outlets, and the electrician got those over to the installer to put them in. Just a call out to Jamie, we should not be having to do that anymore go forward, and I know these are really expensive, but the new table should have the already included pop-up outlet going forward, so I would stop ordering those. But you can confirm that with purchasing. But Kennesaw did have the pop-up outlets, so that we're not spending an extra G on those outlets from wherever Jamie gets those from. Moving over to the RF conversion. Do these look cool or what for coming with reusing old parts, old RFs? I think this is awesome, how much money we're saving with these. So good job to Julie and Gabby for designing that. It's really neat. Don't have any negative comments to give. One process thing that we're gonna have to work out within our own team and store projects is a few of these get the Coates & Clark zipper and different cabinets that would normally go on the base deck of a X-frame. I never really talked about this with the design team, store planning, and purchasing. Hopefully 2 of those actually will sit on the ground in between these casters on here. And then also the fixture installer can't set them in a scenario like this where we have to keep them all compacted. That way we can leave space for the staging of their POG accessories. So you could see the fixture installer, there's 4 pallets of Coates & Clark zipper cabinets and different cabinets right here all the way down. So those are gonna have to be moved once these are all spread out and the store's profiled. I'm sure the store could do it. Otherwise, hopefully that's not an inconvenience because the installer can't do it until these are spread out. There's probably not much to talk about in foam and fiber, but we'll walk through there real quick. All complete. There was just a few spline signs missing. Otherwise, we're all good to go here. Everything looks beautiful. I think we have some acrylic spline signs missing right here. And then some metal spline signs up top. But other than that, foam and fiber is all complete. Here is the quilt feature wall. Everything looks great on this. Nothing new to all of you. Work tables with the graphics. And then we have our A-frames back here. Up in fabric, the wire weld. All set, everything's ready to go. Here's the other side of the wall. that had to stay out for the pressure test on the water line. The GC is supposed to be buttoning this back up together on Monday. The outside will get EFIS, and then obviously they'll just get the drywall up and patch and paint. And then here is the wire weld that's on the front window. The plan does call for a custom fill here. I told the installer not to put it in, and I'll talk to store planning about it. Sometimes we would, but I think it's going to look janky from the outside, so I think it's better if we just leave it out in this scenario. And then here is the one and only implementation of 33-inch uprights. They're built exactly as they were spec'd out on the vendor sheet. We originally had a top shelf on here. We do still have them here if we want to put them back on, but we took them off per Craig's direction. Wanted to see if we could get a second shelf on there, but I don't think it's possible. You could see where a normal 4 shelf is set. Normally on a 4SL, I don't think that we can get it in, but I just don't think it's going to work. But I'm going to let the project specialist test that. And then trying to see if I missed anything good or big. Oh, yes, I did. So we'll turn around here and take a look at Victoria Pittman's Inline Studio Run. Really cool team effort from purchasing and the design team and store planning and everyone involved. It does look really cool. I think it's going to be neat centerpiece when you're standing at the cutting counter to really show off the sewing machines. Don't really have any negative comments. We'll show you per Ryan Neff's direction. We switched to an outlet there for the tablet. The electrician has that marked. He's going to be putting another outlet up there for the I lost it. I don't remember what went there. Oh, that's for the sewing machine. That's for the tablet. So I apologize. And then we have the lockups. I did not check the accessory to see if the installer was supposed to put an easy assist button. I'm assuming since it's so close and relative to the cutting counter, it would not go there or not be needed. And I don't really have any callouts. The only thing you're not seeing here other than merchandise is there's some marketing that's going to attach to the center here. And then also the center section will be getting a backer paper with a with some marketing on it. And then going back all the way probably 15 minutes ago, wanted to mention the gray shelves with gray shelves on the other side when we have gray uprights on a run. Right now, we don't have these shelves anyways, which is probably a good thing. These were actually called out on plan to be white. We should probably change them to gray just because I think it looks nicer. But I'll let that be their call, obviously. And then a couple other tidbits. Because of spacing issues, we cannot move the seasonal wall forward. Luckily, the marketing on the back, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but the marketing on the back of these get Christmas tree clips, no cleats. So it should squeeze in there behind that pole. On the front side, it actually is more elaborate marketing and it cleats on. So that's why we were able to butt this wall up against the column, just how you see it there. And then there was a few things that I missed. I don't know if I want to walk you all over the place now. I should probably show you the break rooms and offices, just in case anyone wants to see that. But on my way, once again, want to reiterate, wow, this place looks awesome. The least amount of store planning, purchasing, This is quite similar to the job that was done in Sherman Oaks where everything just fell into place, so this is always good to see. But here's the break room, nothing different, no new concepts or anything in here. We're missing the TV, we're missing the fridge. And then we have some vendor issues with the bulletin boards, which are posted. The one thing I will say with the fridge, the lead time is really long, probably going forward. If the lead time is going to like push into the end of the project, we should probably just find a different refrigerator on Amazon or wherever it comes from. So the store team can have something to put their food in for the project. But there is the general office, the cash office, safes in, all the furniture in. Wi-Fi is live, data rack's in there, you could see. You can see all the finishes and just the workmanship from the GC is good everywhere. The punch list is going to be super small, which I'm excited about. I might actually get to have a beer and a steak instead of working all night long making a punch list. Stockroom. This was amazing too. I was like, wow, this is clean too. Free of construction materials, free of the installer's garbage. Baler is ready to roll and operable. The baling wire tube's not there, but that's not a biggie on the punch list. All the Opti carts are in. Stockroom shelving. I think there is a couple, no there's not. He cleaned it up. There was some materials back here. So that's the rest of the stockroom. And I don't think, actually I should walk in the bathroom real quick because I just had not that exciting a call out. And I hate to end the video in the bathroom, but I'm going to. Oh, and I'm glad I decided to keep the video going. Way back when in this video, I was talking about the gray spline signs that were very nice and had a little space. We keep having this issue in the store with these white ones. I don't know if you could see that, but I don't know if it's the powder coat or just the way they're machining them, but they're so tight that they're all wavy all the way down. It does not look good at all. So if the shelves are fine, if we can get wire weld to take like a 1/16 or something off of these splines would be good. They'd look a lot better. And then we have the bathrooms. Clean, working. Jamie will be excited. There's not toilet paper and water backing out of the toilet. We're not allowing anyone ever again to have paper towels in here during the fixture install.